Hey, I'm Matt, and this goes out to all my fellow University of Oklahoma football fans. Everyone's screaming to fire Mike Stoops. Okay? I want to remind you all of a little bit of history. We had co-defensive coordinators, Mike Stoops and Brent Venables. Mike Stoops got the head coaching job at the University of Arizona, so he took it. Brent Venables was then announced as the defensive coordinator for the University of Oklahoma. A couple years into that, everyone started screaming about fire Brent Venables, fire Brent Venables, fire Brent Venables, fire Brent Venables. And Mike Stoops came back, and Brent Venables, he was going to be back to being the co-defensive coordinator. And well, Brent Venables was like, no, I really don't want to do that. So he went to Clemson to be the defensive coordinator for Clemson. He is now the top paid defensive defensive coordinator in the entire nation. He is regarded as the best defensive coordinator in the entire nation. He has the number one defense in the entire nation. Okay? I wonder what changed. Maybe the style of offenses? The ACC does not have the air it out, spread it around, air raid offense that we do in the Big 12. The Big 12 runs the most amount of plays, okay? Everyone in the Big 12 is the hurry-up offense. If you see a huddle in the Big 12 against two Big 12 teams, it is extremely rare, okay? Now, let's see. I'm willing to guess in the ACC you run maybe 70 plays a game. 70, 80 plays a game. You see about that many plays collectively. Maybe 100 collectively. So let's say if everything's equal, then your defense is only seeing 50 plays a game. Okay? So you're going to be giving up less points. You're going to be, giving up less yardage, because whenever a team gets into a huddle, it's eating up clock. Whenever teams are running the ball, it's eating up clock. Okay? Whenever teams are passing the ball a lot, it stops the clock. When an incomplete pass stops the clock. An average scoring drive in the Big 12, I think, is a minute or two. Okay? OU, they historically, here recently, will have scoring drives, minute, 45 seconds. I mean, it's not uncommon to have a 2-play scoring drive at the University of Oklahoma. It's not uncommon to have a minute and a half scoring drive running the entire length of the field at the University of Oklahoma. So when your offense is only on the field for, let's say, the entire game, your offense is only on the field for 10 minutes, like against, Army? Army had the ball for over 44, 45 minutes. University of Oklahoma had the ball for 10 minutes. Okay? So, yeah, you're going to give up more yardage. You're going to do that. Okay? But just remember history. If you're out there screaming, fire Mike Stoops, I guarantee you were one of the ones that was screaming, fire Brent Venables. Okay? And also, didn't we have a coach who was a top defensive coordinator? Was his last name Knowles? He said he wanted to come to the Big 12 and prove that you could shut down the Big 12 offenses. His first game, didn't he give up 40-something points and 600-something yards? Okay? The style of offense in the Big 12 is spread it out, hurry up. It's not that grinding offense in the SEC and the ACC, even somewhat in the Big 10. But it's not that grinding offense where it's like, okay, we might only have 4 possessions. Our offense might only have 4 possessions all game, but we're going to have the ball for 35, 40 minutes. We're going to have 4 10-minute drives. No, that's not how it is in the Big 12. In the Big 12, it's okay, let's go out there, run 3 or 4 plays and score. And a lot of times, that tends to happen, so you're putting pressure on your defense because your defense is constantly hopping out there. And yes, the defense has looked bad at times, okay? But at the same time, if you have, let's say, you make pizzas, okay? Let's say you make pizzas for a living, I don't know, and all day long you only make 10 pizzas, okay? I guarantee you there's going to be fewer flaws with those 10 pizzas than if you had to make 100 pizzas in that same time span. The next day you had to make 100 pizzas. There's going to be a lot more flaws with those 100 pizzas than there were with those 10 pizzas, okay? So just think about it. If you're all fire Mike Stoops, even though we're 4-0, we're winning, and you bring up last year how our defense is horrible, we made it to the college football playoff. Only 4 teams in the nation did that, but we made it to the college football playoff. And let's see, we've won the Big 12 back-to-back. University of Oklahoma has more Big 12 championships than home losses. More Big 12 championships than home losses. But you're screaming that we need to fire our defensive coordinator. Okay? When recent history has shown that you've screamed to fire a defensive coordinator, and that defensive coordinator left, went to another school, not in the Big 12, not facing the style of offenses that you face in the Big 12, but he's now the highest paid defensive coordinator in the nation. He's the top defensive coordinator in the nation. He has the best defense in the nation. What changed? Could it be the style of offense? I don't know. Could be the style of offense. So, yeah. So, am I saying that the defense is perfect? No. Yeah, the defense can improve. But at the same time, the style of offense and also some of the rules changes that are meant to help out offenses, okay? And to kind of hinder defense about, defensive players, they have to worry about, okay, am I going to get injected if I go in to tackle this guy and he lowers his head and our heads make contact? Am I going to get injected for targeting? Defensive players have to think about that. They're like, okay, am I going to hit this guy? Is it going to look like too vicious of a hit? So, and also Big 12 offenses. And you got to look, our first 2 games against FAU and UCLA, I honestly believe that the score, we would have had maybe possibly a shutout in one, if not both of those games, if our starters stayed in. But we had so much of it. There's a car that's broke down, and they're pushing it, completely blocking everything, going across 3 lanes of traffic to push it off to the side. But yeah, they you gotta look, by the end of those games, when the majority of those points are scored, our third string defense was in. Okay, our third string defense was in the game. That's when the majority of the points were scored against us, when our third string defense was in the game. And everyone went from going, oh, our defense is amazing, our defense is amazing, our defense is amazing, to suddenly the Army game, when they run an offense that they have to run that is based around ball control and grinding out the clock, because they do not have the athletes, because the military service academies, believe it or not, have height and weight standards You cannot be over a certain weight. Okay, you have to be able to run X amount of miles. You know, you got to be able to do all that. And I know that because I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. I'm a disabled veteran. And so I know that, you know, you have to be able to run, in the Marine Corps, you have to be able to run 3 miles in under 28 minutes. Do you think some of the offensive linemen at the University of Oklahoma are going to run 3 miles in under 28 minutes? No. Okay, but the Army, if you looked every single play of the game, with the exception of their couple pass plays, were cut blocking. Okay? They were just taking out and diving at our players' knees. So our defensive linemen were having to back up and play a little bit back to prevent that, which automatically essentially gives the offense a couple yards. Okay? And also look at this. Army did not have a single play over 15 yards. If you told me that we won a game and the other team didn't have a single play over 15 yards, yet that everyone was saying that our defense was garbage and the defense coordinator needs to be fired, yet the opposing team didn't have a single play over 15 yards. And not only that, you know, I mean, it was a grinded out. The Army does not fumble. Okay? Oh, and not only that, if you told us that I believe there were 3 interceptions during the game, it was 2 or 3. I think it was 3. I was listening to the game because I was at work. I believe there were 3 interceptions during the game, and Army attempted 9 passes. So if you told me that we won a game, that we won a game in overtime, and that the opposing team never had a single play over 15 yards, and we intercepted 30% of the opposing team's passes? We intercepted, or around, 33, something like that. Around 30% of the opposing team's other passes. Not a single play over 15 yards. We intercepted the opposing 30% of the opposing team's passes. Yet everyone's screaming that the defensive coordinator needs to be fired and our defense was garbage. Oh, the gate's up. I don't know. And yes, I did watch the game. My wife was at home, and I told her if she didn't order it on pay-per-view, I was going to get on my phone and order it on pay-per-view for her, because my wife's just as big of an OU fan as I am. Oh, and if you want to comment in this video, say I'm not a real OU fan. Dang, the light. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I actually got that after we lost the Sugar Bowl to LSU because my platoon sergeant's last name was Russell. He had a younger brother named Jamarcus Russell, who was on LSU's roster at the time, and he started calling me a bandwagon fan, so I went and got that tattoo and asked him where his was. So, yeah. Just look at perspective, okay? Look at perspective.